Today we're installing PPF for the refreshed new Model Y Juniper for the light bar and headlights. So we're using Expel PPF, which if you know anything about PPF, it's one of the best, if not the best option. And we're going to offer two options. It'll either be the high gloss, so their Ultimate Plus product, or their Stealth product, which is like a satin kind of matte finish. Looks really nice. So no matter which kit you order, we'll always do the headlights in the clear. You know, the matrix headlights, we don't want to obscure them anyway, so we're going to keep those clear, but the satin kit will have satin for the light bar. In terms of what's in the kit, obviously you get the PPF. You're not going to be able to see this very easily on camera, but you get 5 segments. So the light bar is composed of 3 segments and the 2 headlights. You get a slip solution, which is important for the installation. Just add water to hydrate it. And then obviously instructions and a link to this video and a squeegee. So with that said, let's get going. Okay, so we're going to start with the daylight running light, which is the light strip. And we're going to start over here on the passenger side segment. So first thing, I've hydrated my soap solution. So just going to sort of spray the area. If your lights aren't clean, then either give them a clean or use your first spray of soap solution just to kind of get rid of anything that might be on there. Obviously you get a bunch of fly splats and whatnot, so we're going to clean that up. I'm just using some shop rags to do that. Try and avert your gaze from my slightly dodgy matte wrap, which I need to finish up and get fixed. Then I'm going to spray it again. Be liberal with the soap solution. And then up here, I'm going to just grab the corresponding section, which is over here. Be sure to spray the top of it. Then spray your fingers as well. Because we're going to be handling the back, we don't want to leave any fingerprints. And then just carefully peel it back. These are all small pieces, so you're unlikely to have a sort of mishap with them, but as soon as you've got it off there, be sure to spray it, so if it does stick to itself, then you can easily undo that. And then back at the light, I'm just going to spray a bit more soap solution. As I mentioned, be quite liberal with it. And we're just going to place this on here. Now you'll see that it kind of instantly, essentially takes the shape of the light. And that's sort of the challenge when we're designing these kits, is to get it so that, you know, we're not using heat or anything else that you traditionally use with PPF. We just want something to sit perfectly once it's on there. So it's sitting well. It's obviously very slippy, which is kind of what you want. So what we're going to do is just sort of holding it here with these 2 fingers, sort of roughly in place. We're just going to squeegee out some of the slip solution from this end. So we've kind of more or less got that in the right place. Then we're just going to whack our way down a little bit. Do the same thing, but go all the way. And we're looking at these edges. We don't want the edges kind of overlapping anyway, because you'll accumulate crud and stuff eventually if that's the case. And then just come back on this side as well. Okay, so we've got the first sort of pass done. You can see it's still moving around, but now it's not kind of falling under its own momentum. So now we're looking to get all these edges really well lined up. So I'm going to go again on this side, just kind of using a bit more pressure now. Let's get this completely squeegeed out, and do take your time. I'm going to be fairly quick doing this for the video, but obviously for your own install, be diligent. If you know, now is the time to get rid of anything, any air bubbles or trap solution behind the PPF. Then we're going to come back this way. Now it's not moving too much. It'll still move if you try, but now it's pretty good. So I don't have to hold it in place. Just going to keep on squeegeeing until we've got everything out of there. Grab a shop rag, just dry the area off generally. I hope you can see that kind of gives it a really sort of cool matte finish, which obviously if you've wrapped your car in a matte PPF, it complements that, but even if you haven't, just kind of gives it just a kind of cool look. All right, with that done, let's move on to the center. Okay, so the same deal, we're going to spray this first. I did pre-clean it, so I'm not going to give it another wipe, but you certainly should. You can see I've already picked up a ding actually on the the light over here as well. The one thing I forgot to do, we're going to pop the frunk as well, because we want to make sure that we're getting it lined up underneath. So do that. Don't need to open it all the way, but there's a rubber seal that runs across the top here, so we're going to kind of align to that. Okay, give another spray. Spray the piece up here. Again, spray your fingers and then peel it back. In terms of the installation, this is sort of the riskiest bit. You just want to, take your time. Don't let it stick to itself, but also spray it so that even if it wants to, it can't. I'm just going to roll this back and peel it from the other end. And obviously the recommendation is to do this inside, where you've got less chance of bugs or pollen or just airborne contaminants landing on it while you're working on it. So I'm going to pick it up, and then as quickly as I can get it on the light so that there's no chance it's going to contact anything else. And grab my squeegee. So hopefully you can see on here we've got this rubber strip that runs along here. So this essentially just butts right up next to it. Now I'm looking at both ends. We cut this a tiny bit shorter than it needs to be, because as you squeegee it out, it's naturally going to stretch a little bit. That's inherent in the properties of PPF. So all I'm doing is just pushing it up so it's touching the rubber seal, but we don't want it to the point where it's sort of bending against it. We just want it, we're using that as a guide, that's all. That looks pretty good, left and right. So now I'm just going to squeegee it once, both ways, just to get the initial release of slip solution. Again, you can hopefully see it's still moving around, but it's not slipping itself anymore. So it still looks good. So now I'm going to apply some more pressure both ways. Okay, and then kind of keep going. Just progress with the pressure until you're confident that all the slip solution is out. And then what we recommend once you're complete with this process is to just park the car outside in warm sunshine, or even if it's cold, sunshine is the key. That will sort of help finalize the install, evaporate any excess moisture kind of hanging around the film, and just make everything look pretty good. Even small bubbles will sort of vanish over time in the sunlight, but nothing too big. It will just get rid of any sort of kind of micro bubbles. Just give this a wipe to dry it off a little bit. And on the subject of weather, once you've installed this, it kind of goes without saying, but try not to drive the car for a day, 24 hours. If you have to, then certainly don't drive it when it's pouring with rain or snowing or just something biblical, because there's a chance that'll get underneath the PPF because it hasn't quite cured completely yet. But there you go, that's the center light bar. I'll do this one over here real quick, the other side of the daylight running bar, and then we'll get to the headlights. Okay, I think you've got the process down now, but spray your hands, spray the piece, spray the light, peel it back. So this is the last of the stealth or satin options. Spray the back of this and get it placed. Oops. There we go. Make sure you've got some movement like that. If it's getting snagged anywhere, just peel it back, put a bit more solution underneath it. Then with your squeegee, I'm going to just sort of hold it in place. Go this way. This particular bit of the process isn't for precision, this is just to get rid of some of that fluid. Go this way, same thing. Okay, now while it's still moving around, let's get it lined up properly. I don't always do this, but if you'll notice that generally speaking when I'm squeegeeing it, I'm sort of going at a, maybe not quite 45, but 60 or 30 degrees. So you're sort of going along, so it's flushing the fluid out, sorry, along and down. It's just a more effective way to sort of get the slip solution out. And again, you should be taking at least twice as long compared to what I'm doing. I'm doing this for expediency for the video. But I know that when I come back to this in a couple of hours, there's probably some fluid underneath that I've missed. So do take your time. I can see some up here actually. Let's get that out while we're here. Get that positioned. It's quite easy to see on the black areas. It's much more difficult to see on the clear areas, so focus more on those. Anyway, there you go. So now we're going to do the headlights. These are quick, pretty easy. So we're switching to the clear PPF now, as mentioned, because we don't want to obscure the matrix headlights. I'm going to pick the right one off, which is this one for the driver's side. Give that a quick spray. Give the piece some spray and hands. Peel it back. Give that a quick spray. Okay, I'm just going to place it on there. Okay, that's got too tacky, so give that another coat of solution. There we go, much better. Got some good movement there. Grab the squeegee. There's not much to look for on this piece, it's quite easy. We're just going to do the usual thing, just give it sort of our first squeegee to get the bulk of the fluid out, but maintain the movement. And then we're going to sort of get it lined up properly. On all the pieces, you want to make sure there's no overhang down here, because so you can see I've just got a little bit there, so I'm going to move that up, because that's where eventually the crud will accumulate if that's allowed to hang over the edge. So we don't want that. But as you can see, once this goes on, it's invisible, both optically from a light output perspective and visually, but it provides excellent protection. And like all PPF, self-healing, so if you do pick up any scuffs or scratches or dings, just park it in the sunshine and it'll heal itself. All right, give that a quick dry. Got some fluid still accumulated there. Let's get that out there. There we go. We'll quickly go do the passenger side and then we're done. Okay, let's grab this piece. Get it placed. Get it lined up. Give it a squeegee. Okay, got the first bit out, so now check for alignment on all the corners, make sure there's nothing overlapping down here. Just move that up a little bit, and then finalise. If you feel the squeegee dragging on the surface, don't hesitate to give it another spray. It doesn't do any harm, but from an installation perspective, it just makes it easier when the squeegee's sliding across the surface happily. And there you have it. So like I mentioned, if you can, park it outside in the sunshine when you're done to sort of finalise the install. Avoid any serious weather for a day or so. And your lights will be protected from stone chips and dings. I just wish I did mine earlier. I've got no excuse, I make these things. Thanks for watching.